Hey everybody, welcome to part 2 of repairing, troubleshooting, and repairing this ZENY brand air fryer. Part 1, we took it all apart, found out that the control panel just pops off with these clips. Just give it a little, it'll pop off. Unplug the wires, of course. Then there's 4 screws in here that come out. Then that cover pops off and we can get to all the guts. In part 1 we tried bypassing the switch on the bottom, or manually pressing the switch on the bottom I should say, without plugging in the basket, and that didn't make any difference. So now, part 2, we're going to do some troubleshooting on this control board. First thing we should probably do is just check it for voltage. Get the fluke out here and use the 15B for this one. Alright. Make sure everybody can see those. You got that in frame there? Alright. So we are on AC volts. And we're going to go to hot and neutral after I plug this in. Alright, so line and neutral. Those are good. Let's see, I'm going to turn on the transformer and then we'll hit the switch. Nothing. Could the switch be bad? That's on. It is coming up. On the right inputs. Wow. We should check continuity. Alright, so here to here. I think I have the right contact. Yep, there's hot. Might have a bad power cord. Got nothing on neutral. I got nothing. Are you looking at the correct wire? Sure looks that way. AC in N. Let's see, and that goes over to all this. Let's see, this one? Nothing. Nothing. We may have a bad power cord, or a kink in the power cord. That's actually a first. In one of these, I really expected us to have an electrical problem in here, but I am not getting continuity. Make sure I'm looking at this right. Oh, not looking at this right. Neutral goes down into here to a probably some kind of thermal dealy which probably popped. Well, that just means we have to take the top off and go in further. I'm glad it's not looking like the power cord, because that would be lame. So let me get these probes out of the way. Their little caps back on so I don't poke myself. And we'll probably just go back to the regular leads. I thought it'd be a fun time to use those clamp-on ones. Alright, so that means we got to get in here. I think at least. Actually, let's just take a quick yeah, there's something I can't get to. I do see what looks like a temperature sensor. That little nub. That nub right there looks like it's a thermocouple of sorts that goes to these two wires, we'll measure these and see if it's a thermistor or a thermocouple. Let's get these out. This would be a nice source for a heating element if I needed one. Alright. There we go. Now we're looking into the belly of the beast, or into the face of the beast. Let's see, I want to take the metal. Can I do that? I'm going to get into here where this sensor is. And what's the best way? Yeah, looks like we just have to take everything out. Like this one. Hoping to leave the coil in. That one. And that one. Where'd the third one go? Stuck under there? Yep. Come on. There we go. Alright, so that's annoying. Alright, so we have to take the heater out. So we're going to take these two off, and blue goes on the right, blue, black. This is probably a good idea anyway, it'll protect the element. There we go. We can just set that off to the side, that washer. And is that motor going to come through? Probably not. Of course not. Alright, so now we have to take that nut off. Actually, do I have... Yep. Should have known. 10 millimeter. Ah. Huh, left-handed thread. I guess that makes sense. Alright, so we have the fan out. Now this should lift out. Yep, that's what we want. Alright, so that nut is the last thing holding in the thermal sensor. The thermal fuse, I guess it technically is. Let's see, it's a 4 millimeter. No, 5.5, maybe. Let's see, let's try 5.5. Yep. All right. So let's just get this out of the way, and let's see if this is a thermocouple or a thermistor. Alright, so we're just gonna measure ohms and see. It might be a thermistor. I thought it sit around 100K. Let's see, 97. Let's see if it changes. It's starts dropping as I warm it up. Yep. Alright, so that's a thermistor. 100K NTC, I believe. Negative temperature coefficient. Anyway. And here is what I suspect is the culprit. Oh. Okay. Oh, the fan just fell apart on me. That's fine. We'll reassemble that at some point. Oh, and all the washers fell out, of course. Alright. Oh, yep, and then the spacers fell out. They had it shimmed. Doesn't matter if we can't do anything about this, because I believe this is our issue. Let's pull this, that's interesting, out of the way. And slide that back. There we are. It is a 172C temperature fuse. I think I have some of these actually. Let's see if it's bad. It probably is. We should have about 0 across it. And we're getting meg, so got too hot and that popped. Stay tuned for part 3. We will replace this and we'll put it all back together. And if there's time, we'll fire it up and see what happens. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. If you don't subscribe and you feel like it, do the subscribe thing. If you like the video, don't like the video, let me know. And if you have any other comments you want to leave, please do. Thank you for watching. Hey everybody. Welcome to the next part of repairing this ZENY, Z-E-N-Y brand air fryer. In the first couple parts we took it apart, we diagnosed it and traced the problem back to this thermal fuse. So I did not have any 172 degrees C thermal fuses, so went on the inner tubes and did the whole typey type thing and ended up with a bag of 172 degrees C thermal fuses. Seems to be a pretty popular temperature, so I guess that's worth the $6 or so I spent on these. So what we're going to do is we're going to replace this one. Take this one out, put this one in, see if it fires up. I imagine it will. The one thing I don't believe I have, at least here, are crimps like these. So we may solder it or do something else. But I'm going to go check in my crimp bin and see if I have some, because I thought I had some insulationless butt crimps like that. So let me go see what I can find. Alright, so just got some normal crimp lugs and just cut the crimpy part off, because that'll work just fine for what we need to do. And then we'll get the overkill crimpers. I don't think they're the right ones, but they'll be fine too. So next step is disconnect the old one. We'll just cut it, and we did check this for continuity and it was open. So before we put the new one in, this feller, let's check this one for continuity. Yep, good. And let's see, one side, good, and this one's alright. I mean, it's brand new, it should be, but you never know. So then we will strip this back. Now, being that this stuff's fabric coated, I am going to try to cut the fabric. Oh, that actually works out nice. And we'll slide that over. I'll put one end in. Is that going to fit? Yeah. Just want to make sure that covering will go over it. I'll just push this guy in there. We'll use the smallest we go. Oh yeah, that's good. And then I'll do 2, one on each end. Oops. And we got 2 good dimples. And then we'll do the same thing on this side. I thought it was just going to go through the fabric. That worked out nicely. I'll do the same thing. Feed that through. I want to see it come out the other side. There we go, like that. If I can see both wires, then I know we're in good shape. Alright. That should do it. Essentially, this should be fixed. We could put it back together and just assume everything's fine if we wanted. But we're not going to do that, because that's not how we do things. We're going to test it and make sure it's all right. Alright, so here's the faceplate. The faceplate needs its power and control wires, which go in there. And then the other plug is a thermistor, which I put somewhere. Is it in front? Oh, here we are. This guy. Let's, yeah, I'll leave him in there. We'll just set him out of the way. Because that will give us trouble if that's not plugged in, I'm sure. It'll complain about not having temperature. So let's see if I put this so you guys can see everything. I'm going to arrange this. One moment. Okay, let's try it like this. We have the, pardon me, have everything connected. Have our thermistor connected, front panel connected, relay board connected. We have the neutral clipped on back over there. And then I untape the hot wire that'll go to the heater, and I'm just gonna, I have it on one of my helping hands. I'm just gonna, let's see, we'll put it there. It's over in the air. That way we can connect the meter to it safely, and we'll be able to see when that goes to 120 volts when the heater comes on. We will hear the fan motor, because I don't have the fan motor connected, but I don't have the fan blades on because they need to go back on when it's reassembled. And I'm just going to put on some gloves just as a little extra safety. These are not technically insulated, but you know, they do block my skin from touching things. So first thing I'm going to do is turn the isolation transformer on and see if any smoke comes out. And no smoke came out. Oh, we also don't have the switch bypassed on the base. So we turn the isolation transformer back off and find something to push that switch in. Let's see, maybe I can jam something in there. That should do it. Alright, and we'll put this back up there and stop knocking that over. And contact. Hey, no smoke. Gotta love it. I hear something wee high pitched. Is it this? Ah, it's a transformer making high pitched noise. Alright, you can see we have the power button. Let's see if it'll see me through the gloves. Hey, look at that. 370. 15 minutes, and I don't know how this works, but 400. Oh, I see. We have things along the top. Here, I'll put it here so you can see it a little better. So right now it's on bake, I guess. There's a muffin up there. There's a turkey leg. There's meat. There's fish. and then just 370. So that's time. Oh, that's time. Temperature. And then that's it. I don't know what it's supposed to do after this. How we tell it to go. I guess we wait. Should probably read the instructions, huh? Where's there another switch? I don't see another switch. I don't see another sensor. So go! No? I'll try power button again. Ah, there we go. And there we go there too. You can see it just jumped up to 114.5, which is about the wall current. There we are. Let me move this. Yeah. And let's see, we'll stop it. Fan stays on. Yep, fan's running. And you can see the heater run off. Let's turn the heater back on. There we go, and the heater came back on, 115 volts. So the thermal fuse was the problem here. I guess folks that had this before me ran a little hot, and where they ran it a while. I mean, it looks like it was well used. They took good care of it though. It was really clean inside. I was surprised. Usually when I see old kitchen gear like this, it's a lot crustier. So let's shut it down. Turn that off. Maybe you hold it to turn the fan off. Let's see. Oh, it's going to run for 14 minutes. I see. Alright, well, let's turn it off with the isolation transformer. Now, we're going to put this all back together. I will disconnect all of my test stuff. Let's disconnect the thermistor and disconnect this wire that goes to the panel. And actually, before we put it back together, we're going to take the panel out and look at it. Alright, so let's just pop these screws out and we'll take a quick look. I suspect we'll see a ribbon cable, a flat cable going to the display, and then looking at the footprints on the back, we're probably going to have some kind of blob chip on the other side instead of a actual, you know, IC that we're used to seeing. But I could be wrong. Maybe it's just a little 8-pin PIC type chip or something. Wow. So it's not even. That's really cool. They just have a digital display for the time, and then just backlit stuff with springs for touch sensors. So this is just touch sensor. That's pretty cool. Now let's see, can I? Yeah. Yep. We'll peel that off. We won't ruin it. You can see it a little better. Each one of these is a touch sensor. It's actually very similar to the touch sensor in the Wi-Fi lights that I took apart in a couple other videos. So let me see if this will get the board out. 1, 2. Alright, there we go. Yep. And it does. It has a surface mount IC, which is a unmarked. But I think I see a crystal. I don't know if that's a crystal or a capacitor. Maybe it's a capacitor. Let's see if it's marked. Yeah, it's a capacitor. See, 100 mic at 16, so we must have some power coming in there. That's the that's definitely cleaning up the power. But we have what do we have under here? There's something under there. That might be the brain. Yeah, this is the touch sensor chip. It's probably some sort of multiplexed touch sense input. It might even have a part number on the bottom. Let me just get a light on here and make sure. Make sure there's not something and it's just hard to see. There might be something. No, nothing on there. And then we don't know what's under. Alright, we'll try that again since the memory card ran out. So, I took this out and tried to look underneath the chip to see what that is, but I'd have to desolder it. It's definitely driving LEDs. Let's see, so we have 3 lines coming out of that chip that go through to here. Yeah, that must be just some sort of PIC type controller is my guess. There's the part number of the board. Let's see if we can get it to focus. There we are. 919TS FU-Ming. And there's the date. 10/22/2017. So this thing's not even a year old. Probably still under warranty. Not like I need it. You have some hand soldering on the connector that goes through. And it looks like an update in the board design where they used to have a resistor and then they just drew a line. They bridged it. Let's see, oh, there's the thermistor input, CN2. So CN2 has one wire that runs all the way up through a resistor, through a 0 ohm resistor, so essentially through a jumper, and then into that chip underneath. So that's the brain, that's the microcontroller in there. We'll just have to pretend we know what it is, or if you know what it is, put it in the description. Let's put this back together now and get this thing making some food. What I'll do first is I'm going to put the plastic back on first. Is there any kind of... oh yeah, there is. There is an alignment. Usually they have something and there's a little pin at the top there for aligning. I'll bet the person that does this all day long really good at it by now. Alright. And this will go back in. But first, I'm going to do it this way so we don't push anything out of position. Alright, so they're all back in. I'm going to set this off to the side. This is going to be one of the last bits that gets installed. This is the fun part. This is really the main part. I'm going to disconnect this wire for the time being, just to make it a little easier. The metal shield that has the thermistor has to go in, but the fan, this has to go in first. This mess, all that, and then the other fan. So it kind of fell out. Got all these washers and whatnot. Oh, sorry, meter. Now this, I'm pretty sure, goes right here. That part I'm good on. Then these guys, I think, go here. That's what it looks like and what I seem to recall. So we're gonna have to just kind of figure this out. That's looking good, but I have to put this on. Oh, I just lost a circlip. There it is. Okay, I think I figured it out. I fixed the circlip, bent it properly. And then I had the washers, and I noticed there's a little wear marks here that line up with the washer. And it would make sense because when I sat this down, it was dragging on the plastic until I put the washers in. So they must shim those so it's right over it. Then this goes in like that. still not rubbing. Good. Then there's a spacer. Locks in those grooves. And then this feller. Then we have, come on, there we are. Then we have this guy, who's a reverse thread. 10mm reverse thread. I'll get it started. Yeah, there you go. Alright, and then alright. Oh, that's nice. That feels actually really good. See? No rubbing, no noises. Then we can put this in, because after this is the heater. Let's zoom you back out a little. Make sure to feed our wire through for the thermocouple. Then we need the oh alright, good job, Frank. We forgot a couple things. You see, you can see. Yeah, that happens sometimes. Alright, so I'm going to put the nut on temporarily to keep that off from falling, because that's what happened to me last time. It all dropped out. We need to get the this back through. That's important. Let's see, and that's for the heater. So that, oh, this was in here, that's right. Alright, so we'll just feed that through. Flip it on back over, because this gets attached to the outside of this. I don't need the gloves anymore, because we're not working with open electric or anything nasty. They're too nasty. Alright, so we got that and that ready. And was this threaded? I can't remember if this was threaded or if there was a nut. I imagine there was a nut probably sticking through right there. Yeah, where did I put that? It's not there. Let me find that. Forgot I left it in there. It's 5.5mm. Alright, so that's going to be that way. So that puts this guy right here. Yeah. Right there. Just want to make sure I'm clipping the fuse, which is right there. There's the fuse. And we'll get the nut driver. Of course. It's just in there a little too far. I'll figure it out. Let's see. There we are. Alright. Put that on just to kind of hold it, so I don't need pliers. There we are. Nice. Alright, now that we have that, we can feed the thermistor wire back through the hole, because now we know it's the right way, and I hope I have these the right way. I think so. You know, directional wise, so that the wires fit. Seems alright. We'll set this back down. Oop. Try to line up these screw holes without knocking anything loose. There we go. It's pretty good. Alright, we can put some screws in. Alright. Alright, so those are in. That's not moving. That all looks good. Now I can take the nut off. And again, that's a reverse thread. Alright, so that's down. We get our pointless split washer. And we'll set the cooking fan on top, and that lines up with that piece underneath, that spacer. There we are. And we'll get to 10 millimeter. There we go. That's ready to cook. And we can get the heating element right here, which is really just a normal, you know, stove element. It's a, oh, let's see if you can read the specs. 120 volt, 1400 watt, 1710 is the part number, I'm guessing. So that's going to just slide down through here. Sure that's all the way through, and it is. Alright, we'll put those in first. Looks like it's these three, because these three have all of the... Oh! Is that what I did? I think I put the wrong screws in the bottom. Let me see something. And let me see if these little ones are even going to work now. I may have just... what are you going to do? Oh, no. They're alright. So let that be a lesson for you. Take better notes of where the screws go. Or, you know, when you can't finish a video the same day you start it. Unfortunately, the screw is longer than the other ones, so the threads that I made too wide at the top of the hole don't matter. Alright. So, let's get this back into place. One. Yeah, these split washers must be acting as spacers. Two. And last but not least, just did that to kind of equalize the tension. But that's back in. Still spinning. Looks good. Here is our electrics. I think we're finished under there. We can get back to reattaching all the electrics, which is really just, let's see, it's just the just the heater. And I did mark those. black and blue. There it is. Alright. Yeah, that'll all eventually get tucked back in on the far side. Get this guy. Now polarity wouldn't matter here, being that that's just a coil, but sometimes with the way the wires have to stretch, you want to do that, make sure everything goes back where it was. So that's what we're going to try and do here. And let's put all this back down. Like this. Just feed that all back under the thing where it was. And we'll put that rubber piece back down. That'll kind of lock it all down there. That'll sit there. That's good. We will put the wire to the front panel back in. And I'm just gonna wrap these guys around each other a little just to kind of keep them together. Just stuff it right there for now. Next is we're going to put it back on here. Now there's pins that line up. There's a pin that lines up right in there, just like that. You can see I'll back out a little more. There you are. And then let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws. It's probably these long ones. Alright, I'm gonna put these back in. Alright. Let's get this cover back on. Don't want to forget this. That's the vent. And then it just has a sister Phillips that holds it in. It's interesting they went and did all that just for a screw. Oh, there's the plastic PA HF988. Yeah, it doesn't feel like there's any glass in here. I keep thinking there is, because it kind of reminds me of projector lamp glass, but oh no, there's something in there. Hear it? See if there's any other recycling marks. To look that up and see what that is. If I can figure out what kind of plastic this is, I will put it in here, and if I can't, then such is life. Alright, now we're going to put the top on. We're almost there. Have to feed the two wires through, and we'll set that cover on. That should really just drop down. What is it? Oh, my helping hands were in the way. There we are. Just like that, and then 4 more screws, and that's it. And we can. I'm gonna wipe it down a little, get that dust off it. It was sitting for a bit before it got given to me. And 1, 2, 3, 4. There we are. Just kind of wipe it out. we're not going to be in here anytime soon as far as I can imagine. Shouldn't have to open this up again unless I blow out the thermal fuse. So then we'll get the top. Actually, while I have the top and a little bit of Windex on there, I'll wipe that down too. Let's see, we got one plug there and one plug here. And we'll just tuck the wires down so they don't get caught in the fan, and we'll just line up the hooks at the top and bottom and give it a little boot, and we should be good. Now we're ready to give it a real try. I have the this back in. It's nice and clean, and let's so far so good. At 370 on. It's probably getting hot. No, it just turned off. That's weird. Blew the oh, my isolation transformer won't handle 1400 watts. I didn't think of that. Alright, let's go back in here. There we go. There we go, it's running. I will, actually let's throw a thermistor in there and see what kind of temperature we're getting. One moment. Alright, so I can't find my temperature probe at the moment, so I just shoved a thermocouple in there. Let's see if that thermocouple reads anything in the millivolt scale. Yeah, alright. Starting to come up. I don't know what the calibration is, honestly, but as it puts out millivolts, we know that the temperature's coming up. And I can feel it. So, before I get things too hot and have to wait for this thing to cool down, I'm going to call it good, because it is. And, yeah. So, that was all that was wrong with it, was this little guy here. And I got a whole pack of them for like $7 or something. So if you have any questions or comments, want to see me air fry something, leave it in the comments below here. And if you have any other questions, do the same thing. If you don't subscribe, it'd be really cool if you did. You don't have to. I don't care. I care a little bit. As always, thank you for watching.